rappers. If I send the dressers, they gon' come in straight.
What it is, it's your boys Deuce, Teddy, and Laquel reporting with the facts, opinions, and BS straight from the top of the key. What's good?
What's up, fellas?
Slow motion.
What's up? What's up?
Oh,
First and
me.
foremost, gotta shout out them LSU girls getting it done,
They did that.
winning that champ. Hey man, I'm just gonna say this. This Final Four has been some of the most entertaining, balling females that we've seen since the Cheryl Swoops or the Diana Taurasi days. Like these girls is straight balling. It's competitive. It makes it fun to watch. Like this was some nice Final Four. It's better than the men's. So I'm gonna say that these girls is out here balling.
You
Yeah.
seen what Barkley said?
What do
What
you
he
say?
say?
He was just like he 100% think the females are talented and he support them. He just wished that they didn't have to go overseas to make money. They should be able to make money here.
Yeah, I think
He don't support them enough. Sure.
Yep.
but the way that the basketball has changed from the 90s to now, where it was a lot of power and athleticism in the NBA that people came to see, and in the girls' game it was a lot of shooting and skill. And now the NBA has moved towards you ain't gotta be the most flying through the air player to be. You can still have your step back in Euros, and the girls' game can catch more up to that quicker than it could have to the 90s game where they was mainly just everything in the paint and 7-footers turning around, dunking and everything. Now you can get to players that can look more like a Kyrie or girls that can shoot like Steph or girls that can score the ball off like KD from the mid range without having to have that super athleticism. So the girls' game is in good hands with the way that the skills are going.
Yeah, I mean, if we're not gonna go to the games and buy the merch, they never gonna make the money that we make.
Right.
But these new players that's coming
That
up,
college game gonna get that money.
but
College girls gonna get them. College programs gonna get that money.
But man, look, once these girls talking trash, these girls are starting rivalries and beefs, man. This stuff is nice. I want to see that type of energy going to the WNBA. They need that.
It's gonna start through. I think it's gonna start through social media though. I think what's crazy is it's gonna take a lot of different clips from girls' games over and over and over, all through social media. All the little highlights, all the little crossovers that they do. This girl
I
shoot
like these
this
bad
and it's like
girls.
that, and it's gonna come eventually.
These
Use
bad
that
girls.
to
I
keep
like it.
run it up.
On me.
And they balling like these girls.
Yeah,
can
they got the skill, bro.
Right, they some ballers.
To
Like
come to that,
these
they got the
girls
skill.
can
They got that.
They can who? You got female Kobe's on the court.
I'm talking about
tell
step
you.
back. I'm talking about it look nice out there. The female game is in good hands, man.
Yeah, so shout out to the NCAAW Final Four. It lived up to the hype. It was nice. But let's get back into this NBA.
NBA talk. So y'all know that the Players Association NBA just went through negotiating a collective bargaining agreement and they signed it. So we're gonna go ahead and discuss a few of the key points. I know Draymond Green is hot. Feel like they were robbed. He thought that they had all the assets and tools on their side to be able to really come out as the victors in this, but instead they became out as the 100% loser. So he doesn't rock with it. But let's talk about some of the points. So for the season awards, now they require you to have played a minimum of 65 games. So you are not eligible to receive an award of any sort if you didn't play 65 games. So this is to help like influence or players to get out there and play. So like if you got a Kawhi Leonard who's coming in at 50 games out of 82 or whatever they decide, you play 50 games, you can't even be looked at for Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, I think it moved up from 58 to 65. So
they're trying to combat that low management stuff. That's that's a ridiculous number if you
think about it, a lot of players, when you think about how they've been low managing too right around 60 games. they've been low managing to where they still eligible for that 58 games, 60 games, but they'll take them 22 games off.
Yeah, but
You know what I'm
you
saying?
just one
$2 a year
sprained
to be
ankle. You
main
one
season.
sprained ankle from being
Yeah.
disqualified from a lot of stuff.
But they say it comes with some conditions. So what I think they'll potentially consider is like if you are eligible to play. Like if it's something like you're eligible to play and you don't meet 65, then I think that's one thing. But if you got a legitimate like injury or something like that, then I think that's when you played 60. You had
It's
this.
so much gray area in that though, bro. Like
Yeah.
any doctor could say anything. Yeah, he not ready to play.
Yeah, because you got a
Knowing the
lot of
whole time
soreness.
he is.
You got a lot of soreness and tightness games that can be missed where you may not have a definitive play within the game where it's like, oh, he got injured on that play. But after this, LeBron James is experiencing calf tightness after the game, so he's going to miss the next game. Or he's
Yeah.
experiencing knee soreness, so he's going to miss the next game. So
I mean, but
a lot of stuff
at the
like
same
that, back spasms, or you
at the
can.
same time,
You know what this
that
mean
just
though, for real?
means Joel Embiid, no MVP.
You know what this mean? Anthony Edwards finna win all the awards and all the
Oh, he doing play the
basketball.
guy.
He
That is
don't
one
miss a
thing about
game.
Dope
Nah,
though.
Kevon Looney
Dope been
might.
playing though.
I'm
Like if you
saying
think
Anthony Edwards don't miss a game.
He
But
did
Dope,
miss a game
Giannis,
this year though.
Tatum, Giannis, Tatum, they done played they.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got other players like that will be eligible.
Yeah. All right, so something else you got. They say the in-season tournament is due to arrive most likely. They say as soon as next season, the 2023-2024. And the way it'll look, it have 8 teams that'll go to the tournament and single elimination tournament in December, and it'll make up for some of the regular season games. And then the final four will be held at a neutral site, probably like Las Vegas or something. But the in season tournament seemed like it'll debut next season, so I'm ready to see what that's hitting for, and what's the point of it? Like what's the catch? Like what's the goal? What's the intent? What's the award? Like what do we get out of doing this?
I
Like
would
do
have
we get
loved
an
to see a
automatic
bottom
like?
eight. I would have
Hmm?
loved to see a bottom eight tournament for the number one seed. That would have been better for me to see instead of having to pull that ball, do a bottom eight tournament. The last eight records of the team, y'all go play single elimination. Whoever win the tournament get the number one pick. Best of the worst.
Oh,
Instead of
you talking
y'all
about
just
for
tanking.
the draft and stuff
Yeah,
like
for the
Nah,
that.
number
but the
one
only
pick.
thing about that is because that influence teams to tank. Because if I tank the whole seed, if I tank, but I'm a bottom eight seed, I'm really equipped to win. So I get in there and win, and now I go ahead and get
But
this.
but you talking about tanking? You ain't none of the teams tanking. Ain't none of the teams tanking. Maybe that team, them mid-tier teams, Portland, where they was probably in the playoffs and not gonna be in there. Dallas, where they gonna be at home watching. You know what I'm saying? Teams like that, where they might be, but they not the bottom eight. Only the real bottom eight gonna be in the
But
tournament.
Portland is a bottom 18.
What time? They're a bottom eight in the what? I'm talking about bottom eight. Period. The
Right. They amongst the bottom. They should be
the
like
bottom eight records. Period.
they one of the first three teams. I mean, one of the first 6 teams to get eliminated from the playoffs.
Oh well, yeah. So like they like that. Teams like that. So yeah, now y'all go in there and
Yeah, I
do
don't
it.
know. I look at something other than that number one draft pick. Because they already doing the works with. We all know how they go with tanking. I really feel like shit. If you win, maybe you get your name put in that lottery, and they pull and you get to get one of them top 10. I feel like
Some.
because I don't think like good teams should necessarily have to suffer because they're good. I think they should be able to get some good draft picks.
But the good teams usually suffer anyway. Most of them don't get into that lottery, don't get a lot of balls
But
in
that's
that
what I'm
lottery.
saying. I don't feel like they should. But
But
honestly, like
then
if
you
I'm a
got
great
teams
team,
that
I probably don't
smart.
even want that draft pick
But man, you got teams like OKC that look like they cheated.
on the way.
That cheated during this draft pick lottery thing. All the picks they got for Russ, all the picks they got for CP, all the picks they got for Paul George have turned into Shea, Josh, Chet.
Giddy, I don't know.
Like they
Well,
still got
they
number one.
pulled shade from the Clippers though.
I know, but that because they were the trades that they all the stuff that they got for certain players.
Yeah.
They got that for the Paul George, basically for like, bro, like they got stuff that they shouldn't have sitting over there on a playoff team. They still got number one picks. They got a number two pick that haven't played. They got they
Who
feel
went
like
number
they
one
should,
over him?
I don't know. Paulo went over Chet.
Yep. Yep.
And they have a playoff squad with a number two pick that haven't played a lick of basketball. They have lottery picks this year and next year.
Yep.
Bro, they scary over there. And they got Shea and Josh that's already hooping.
Mm-hmm.
But you see how they said that they made it a point to put in that collective bargaining agreement that certain players under this new collective bargaining agreement, certain things wouldn't have happened that happened this summer. Like the DiVincenzo coming to the Warriors
Yeah.
wouldn't have been able to happen.
I was just looking at how they eliminated the restrictions on teams having that limited teams to only having a max of 2 super max players. Now they can have more than that. And but to what you were saying, well, so they're curbing the ability of the highest spending teams to continue running up salary and luxury tax spending while maintaining mechanisms to add talent to the roster. So pretty much they're teams like the Golden State Warriors, who's been they're in a dynasty mode. They are, penalizing those teams, limiting those teams, because if this was in effect, like Quill said, the Warriors wouldn't have been able to pick up DiVincenzo. The Clippers wouldn't have been able to pick up who was it, like John Wall.
Yeah, John Wall.
So
Boston getting Joe Ingles.
Joe Ingles, yeah. So no, it was Norman Powell, but
Powell and Robert Covington, yeah.
that's what Draymond went off. Then he went off pretty much just saying like, look, you should be killing us. You know what I'm saying? Those teams are tanking on purpose. You know what I'm saying? They losing on purpose. We trying to be out here and win games. So why would you tax us to reward them? They not even out there trying to win.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You got some owners that don't mind going into that luxury tax, because the luxury tax, that owner paying that.
Mm-hmm.
You got some owners that's like, I want to win, so I pay the extra money and the penalties and stuff to make sure my team's solid. And you got some owners like, well, I don't want to pay all of that to make sure my team good. So why should I have to suffer as an owner and let all of us be bad? Like, no, I don't care about paying I don't care about paying my team. Well, we built our brand on winning. Y'all built our brand on something else.
They said, hey, look, they said, it's what? It's a few $100 million. I got a few of them bills. So
yeah, some teams don't care
that.
about that. Some teams okay paying that, and them other owners don't want to take care of their team, don't want to win. They want to just, that ain't on us. That's on y'all.
Some things I would have liked to see discussed. I mean, something with the referees, dealing with how they handle the referees, potentially something with better protecting the players, so that way they don't have to fend for themselves. I would have liked to see like stuff like that discussed.
Technical, and being called for technical with the ref. Yeah.
Yep. I mean that's something that
fines,
they could have.
Public fines, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, we know stuff happened to the refs, but like figure out how you gonna handle business, because all of them, all the players, the coaches, the staff, they all are a part of the NBA association. So let's not take this population and say this is what we're gonna do with y'all, but then let this population say this is what we're gonna do with y'all. Nah, do it all the same.
Yeah, I don't care. No, I don't care about no. I'm with Draymond, because I know you got some owners that want to win, and they'll be like, oh, well, yeah, you can take this on the table, and I'm gonna still give you this 20. I still got 25 million in my bank account. Like, I still give you the extra 25.
Yeah.
We just ain't gotta be put on paper saying it. It's some owners that want to win some basketball.
Yeah. So we ain't gonna go too much more into it, but I will say I did like when they limited teams to two supermax players, because last thing I want to see is Steph Curry, KD, LeBron, and Luka all on the same team.
Dallas.
I'm just saying, like,
what
that's the
it'll take
last
for
thing I
Dallas
want to
to get
see. I
there.
want to see
It would not
talent
make
play
it
talent. I
fun.
want to
Yeah.
see dudes with drive. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see legitimate rosters, not these super teams where you just buy a championship. That ain't what I'm trying to see. Anybody can build a team USA. I ain't trying to see that. I'm trying to see some real basketball. Get you a roster and make that roster do what it got to do. Not build you a roster by buying that thing.
Yeah, let these role players be their role players, and they keep
Yep.
putting all these superstars on one team. Gonna make it for a really boring NBA. And I feel like
Facts.
this year has been a real competitive NBA.
Yeah.
Because even the young guys that ain't as name big as a Steph or a KD or LeBron out here doing stuff like Will said, the Thunder. You know, Shy making a name for himself. You already got two big names in Boston doing stuff like that. Like you putting all these big heavy names. Like imagine if Embiid and Jokic on the same team starting. That'd be boring.
It'd be some slow ass basketball.
Yeah, it'd be half court, but it'd be boring though. Like it ain't fun.
Imagine if you had Ja, Luka, KD, AD, and Giannis. Like a squad like that.
Which wouldn't even work, but it would be just that's stupid.
Look, that's enough talent to make it work.
Oh yeah, that
I
squad
mean,
will work.
it's
Some talent gonna
they
work.
the best they the
Some
best
talent gonna
players
work.
in the world, so you would
Nah,
think they
that
can make it work,
lineup will
but
work because you got
that's
aerial wizards
stupid.
out there. You got
Yeah.
snipers out there. Maybe you take 80 out. Maybe you take 80 out and put you one mid level. You keep Christian Woods. Keep Christian Woods. Put him right there.
Man,
But I still think that'll
everything
work.
you need on that squad, you got enough length for everybody. You got multiple people to
All
guard.
right,
Multiple
put
positions.
yeah. All right, so on to the next. You got LaMarcus Aldridge. He finally announces his retirement, his second retirement. And during this retirement, he quoted the great Tom Brady. He said, you know, as TB12 said, you know, the most times you can retire, it retires twice. So, no, he said you only get one big retirement. Pretty much saying his first retirement was his big retirement where he all the emotion and the thanks and all the other stuff. So he kept this one short. You get one big retirement. This is my second one, so I appreciate everything. So that's what he said.
He was having health issues, wasn't he?
Yeah, I
So
mean
you know he gotta.
he was, but he came back and he was on the Nets, the bought Nets, you know, that roster that was purchased, and he was cool. He was actually cool, but for some reason they just stopped using him. So
Yeah, and then when them young boys come in, they not finna use no veteran either. So you see
yeah,
the
so
writing on the wall too.
but if you think back to his Damian Lillard Portland days,
Oh yeah, he liked it. Even on his years when he got traded to the Spurs early on with him and Kawhi, he was like that.
yeah, but that's when
That
his
one playoff run with Portland, that one round where he scored that 40 them first two games. I thought he was I ain't know, but I was like, boy, they gonna have a problem with LaMarcus. They ended up
yeah,
losing the series, but boy, I thought LaMarcus was a handful, boy.
yeah. But his issue was when he left. I mean, it became his health, I guess, and his happiness. I think that's what kind of took him out the way and on the Spurs because once you lost like Kawhi Leonard, like you kind of knew like when everybody was gone, you lost Kawhi Leonard and
They was going
everybody else, like you
downhill.
knew that was like the end of that. So you like, I don't want to be. It's
Yeah.
kind of like Kevin Love when after LeBron and Kyrie and all them left, the Cavaliers like, I ain't trying to be in a part of a rebuild. I'm trying to do
Yeah, I'm just
something
trying to
now.
win right now. I'm too
Yeah,
old. And then with injury, one thing about injury that I know, it's a mental thing. It is a
yeah,
mental thing when you do get injured, getting back to the court and then realizing like, dang, I can't go right the way I used to go right.
yeah,
It's like, okay, well, dang, I can't go left the way I used to go left. All right, let me figure this out on how to do this. It's one thing when you're young, like Ben Simmons, he
yeah.
had mental issues that may not have been injury. But when you can't move how you normally move and you seeing like, dude, I used to be able to lock everybody down going this way. But now people blowing past me. I don't have lift like I have lift. And then your coach like, well, you come out, put the young fella in. Like that
Yeah.
play with you a little bit. Like you like, dang, I know I'm still getting back, but not everybody else see it too.
But it'll play with you that way, but then it'll play with you in a way where you feel like you got to prove it. And now, because you feel like you got to prove it, now you're getting out of pocket. Now, not looking as great or as sharp as you thought you were because you're trying to force the issue instead of playing within your body, within your limits.
Yeah. And then going from a starter to some DNPs, play with you too. Going
Oh,
from
yeah.
37 minutes to being out there suited up, went through warm-ups, and I ain't injured no more, coach. You just
It
ain't
takes a
playing.
special kind of person to be ready, like a Tyus Gibson or Kevin Love or even a Blake Griffin. Players like
Yeah,
that.
to go from that to that, like it take a lot.
Look, I tell you, you keep paying me millions, I get down his hands on some shit.
Yeah, it's a lot to deal with that. We don't want you. How do you handle we don't want you or we don't like you right
Look,
now?
if you keep playing me and you ain't let me fall off your roster, you want me. I tell you that much. You want me. You may not want to play me, but you want me.
Yeah.
Shit, I take the millions until I hit a certain point where I'm like, I
Yeah.
make my own money.
So
You
yeah,
know
I
what I'm
feel.
saying?
But it's like a lot of players deal with that, even in like without being sit on the end of the bench. Players that's always in trade rumors feel a certain type of way sometimes. Players that every time we talk about trade, I'm the one that's possibly getting traded. Like Jaylen Brown, he say he be feeling he's still JB, but they'll play with you. They'll
Yeah.
play with you. Like, even Dane was like, if this the way the NBA going, I don't see myself playing in this NBA for a long time. When he was talking about how all they emphasize is players winning and being in championships and ain't no veterans really in the locker room. And we got all these, they only emphasize youth now. I'm the vet. Like I came in with vets that was grown men. Like now the oldest player in the locker room, 27. He ain't no grown man. You know what I'm
Nah, he a grown man, but
saying?
it ain't what it used to. Hey, these players be fine. They way up out the league fast. Where the hell he go?
Bro, the NBA is a revolving door now.
It's been like that for a couple of years now, but yeah,
Yeah, but
it's
they
more
they they
noticeable
pull
now.
the pool in which they select from is far greater. You got more colleges out there.
They just drafting
More.
from overseas a lot more now.
I wasn't done though. So, like I said, you got more colleges. If you look at how many colleges you got today compared to how many colleges you had in the 90s, they have more colleges. They now can pull from the G League, and you got all the expansions overseas when you got all these, partnerships and visibility and scouting that you're doing overseas. That is exponential expansion.
Yeah.
So
We don't know what all these new creators, these new player builds coming out with Victor Wembanyama. We don't know. These all new creator players now. We got
yeah,
all new type of player builds now.
yep,
So you don't know what's coming. We don't know what's cooking right now in Nicaragua somewhere with a
yeah.
7-2 KD Steph combo. We don't know.
Yeah,
This
I was
type of
watching.
stuff.
I don't know who the dude was. I forget what. I think he's from Congo or some Cambodia. I don't know where dude was from. But it was a third world country. I know that much. And I'm talking about dude was just putting in work. And I'm like, bro, what else do you do? Like it was just putting in work. 2 basketballs, got the tire hooked to him. You know what I'm saying? He made his own Vertimax. The Vertimax is that platform to help you
Yeah,
increase
that
your
nigga
vert.
jump.
That motherfucker had all resistant bands tied to the tire, hooked
He
to
was just
himself, and,
jumping. He was
and he was
going like,
going in. I'm like, hey,
hey.
he looked like he out there night and day. I can't remember where dude was from, but I'm
We
talking
don't know
about
what's coming. We don't
This
have no
this
idea what's coming.
this
All of them see
this is
James
a
Harden move.
testament, yeah, but this is a testament to like the best players in the world, which make them so good when you start making those arguments to people of the 90s and the 80s and stuff. Type of competition, the
I'm
world
like, yeah, the
competition
world has
nowadays.
caught up.
Yeah.
The world has caught
Because
up.
if you beating players from all over the world, all of these colleges, all over the world, all of these different players is just that more of a testament of how great you
yeah,
are. And that ain't just saying like to a LeBron James or to a Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Anybody, that's considered the best of the best right now. It's crazy.
Hey, that's how I feel. That's how I feel too. You can't tell me if we start playing basketball in the 70s and everybody else started playing basketball in the 90s. By 2000, they had 10 years under their belt. So they a little better. They got the Dirks coming now. But in 2020, now you got Luka, Shea, and B, Giannis. You got it's a Jokic, it's a whole bunch of them. Not with Victor, you got a lot, Laurie Markin, and you got a whole bunch of them now. So 10 years from now, I don't know what's coming. I'm telling you, we don't know what's coming, bro. You had Tony Kukoc. They was happy about Tony, boy. Then you had
you had Sabonis there. I forget his name.
Sabonis. You had a few. Vlade Divac. You had a few of them that was They was big.
But Vlade Divac wasn't like that though.
But you had big monsters.
Yeah.
Now you got look, Shea, the three MVP candidates. None of them from here. Top three: Jokic, Giannis, Embiid. Ain't none of them from here.
Actually, the top 4 out of the
Luke
5.
ain't from her.
6,
Shea ain't from her.
6 out of the top 5. But the only one from her is
Sabonis ain't from Sabonis. I mean, he from her, but his daddy ain't from her. He ain't like, they all of them. The number 1 pick next year, Victor, ain't from her. Where Paulo from? Ain't from her. Chet Holmgren, where he from? These people, the world has caught up. Basketball is big now.
But them boys still dominate.
Look at the girls' game. That'll tell you how far basketball has come. Look at how skilled this run was. Them girls in the WNBA shaking in their boots, looking at what's coming next. Half of them don't even have these new moves because they got moves from the 90s still. They got moves from the early 2000s.
So, what's coming next is the playoffs. This is our last week of basketball for the regular season. And we get into the play-in tournament next week, and then we get into the playoffs. So if you one of these teams, if we're looking in the East, which team, if you one of the teams that's fighting, you're not one of them top 3 teams, which teams are you looking to avoid early in the playoffs? So we looking at, let me see if I can pull this up. Let me show y'all. So if you Miami, Atlanta, Toronto, Chicago, Brooklyn, okay, we go with the bottom 5. Who are you looking to avoid?
The Bucks, because they've been playing together the longest.
The Bucks?
The Celtics got injuries and the 76ers got injuries.
The Celtics got injuries? Not really.
I mean, Robert Williams and them being out.
He back. He been back.
He back.
I know, but I'm saying the Bucks been playing together the longest.
Nah, because you got to think. Shit, Giannis just got injured. Remember, he was injured All-Star break.
Yeah, he right before All-Star break. And on the All-Star game, went out there, did it with 2 points and left.
He wasn't out that long.
But you had Chris Middleton out the host, so I think they've
been winning without Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton, just got back in the start.
Like the Celtics was winning without Robert Williams. They was the best team in the league.
Avoid the
Bucks. I'm trying to avoid Boston because looking at what Boston, at first I wasn't even too scared of Boston until I seen them play the Bucks the other day. And I was like, if they can go out there and just execute basketball like that, that's Boston basketball. They shoot the second most threes in the NBA. They make the second most threes in the NBA. So watching them go make 14, 15, 16 threes on the Bucks, that's a normal game for them.
Yeah.
22
so
on them
they can
boys.
go play playoff basketball like that, beat them boys like that. Their defense gonna come together. They were stopping them. They stopping Giannis. So it ain't like they stopping no bum. They stopping Giannis. So they look solid. I'm scared of Boston.
Okay.
I'm scared of Embiid.
That was one game though.
But I'm talking about top.
It was one game,
teams.
but it's still.
I don't see none of the. I don't see the Sixers bench as a threat really.
Yeah.
And then the Bucks, we know they top to bottom of team. So like you said, Boston or the Bucks. But you know what? A sleeper team that I'm scared of.
Cleveland. The Knicks.
The Nets.
The Nets. Nah.
The Nets. I'm scared of the Nets. I'm scared of the Nets. Watch what I say.
The reason I wouldn't be scared of the Nets is because no Ben, But then also Cam Thomas took himself. Like if they had Cam Thomas coming off the bench, that's a big difference.
He not what he took himself what?
Ever since he made that comment, we ain't really seen Cam Thomas.
But they've been winning though without him. That's
They've
the
been
thing
losing
about the
too. They've been losing too.
but what I'm saying is the way that they won certain games, I'm
I
scared of
know.
how in a 7 game series, it's like how Miami used to scare me. Like I don't see nothing with Miami, but defensively, how the game locks down defensively in that 7 game
Yeah.
series works towards Miami's advantage when you have a Jimmy Butler and Adebayo who can switch
But what I'm
everything.
saying is coming
Nick
off the bench,
Claxton, Mikal Bridges.
but the fact they have nothing coming off the bench, that's the issue. They're not really using Seth. They don't have Cam Thomas coming off the bench. Joe Harris ain't really doing much of nothing. So really, you just got them first five, and then you got maybe a few defenders coming off the bench. People just spur bodies. If they had something coming off the bench, that's when I'd be like, yeah.
Yeah, they don't have nothing. Even tonight, 7-6, 6-3.
Yeah, they ain't got nothing coming off the bench. That's why I was
They
like,
won,
nah.
but they barely won.
Yeah. Okay. So we talked about the East. Let's look at the West. So I put the West up here. If you're in the West, regardless if you top or bottom, what are some
It's
teams?
the opposite because I feel like the top teams want to avoid some of the bottom teams more so than the bottom teams want to avoid the top teams.
So what you
I think they don't want to play the Warriors and Lakers. Don't nobody want to play the Warriors and Lakers right now in the playoffs. I feel
because
that more
you got
so
the
than
Warrior dynasty, then you got the LeBron legacy.
AD,
Okay.
Yeah, the way they look. More people might want to avoid us in the Lakers than we want to avoid like Denver.
Yeah.
Like Denver or Memphis. I ain't scared of going against Memphis.
Yeah, I don't think people.
I want to see it. I would want to see Warriors Memphis first because I want to smack them first. I want to put them out in the first round.
Is that what we? Nah, so we'll have to drop all the way right here in order to get that.
I would rather see that first. I know we're not gonna get it, but I would rather see us play them first round. Let's go ahead, Dylan. Let's Draymond. Y'all been talking all year, Clay. We've been doing this. Let's put y'all out first round.
Yeah.
I want to sweep them. I want to make it disrespectful. I want to sweep them first round, get the hell out of here, try again.
Yeah. I think people will look to avoid the Suns.
That's what I was gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
I think because bench don't have much to offer, but you give KD the opportunity to reinsert himself into a championship caliber team. You got a floor general, one of the best that we probably ever seen, Chris Paul. Then you got a Mamba mentality and D-Book. You know what I'm saying? I just feel they are lacking defensively and they're very injury prone. But I think, because I'm even looking like Golden State, we were at 5. We could have won that game tonight. Do you think we look at that like, I ain't trying to see KD in round 1? I see any of these other teams before I try to see KD in round 1.
Yeah, because I'm okay with Sacramento round 1.
Yeah.
It's like I don't see Sacramento.
That's more doable. I mean, you got De'Aaron Fox, DiVincenzo go at him.
DiVincenzo and
Gary Payton go at him. That's cool.
You know what
we
I'm
got that.
I know the Sabonis, Draymond, they pretty much gonna have both assists, rebounds. One of them gonna have more assists than the other. One of them, Draymond, gonna have 5 more. Assists than him. He gonna have more rebounds than Dre. He might have more points than Dre, but they gonna offset what they bring to their teams.
Yeah.
Shooting wise, they shoot, I think, number 1 threes in the NBA.
Yeah.
But we ain't too bad in that category. And, historically, we not too shy or shooting. So but I'm okay with them more than seeing the Suns round 1. I'm gonna be straight with you now. Because
that's I look at it.
They got shot makers over there.
I really feel like we could have been playing chess what we are doing, especially with the situation with Wiggins. We doing enough to place ourselves in the right situation so where we got control. So we control it enough to where when it comes down to the very last game, if we in that 5th seed and all we got to do is lose this last game and end up in that 6th seed and we end up playing the 3rd seed, then we're going to do that. We're going to lose that game and play that rather than play the Suns. The only way I I feel like they'll want that fourth seed because they can get the fourth seed as if it was for certain that the Suns would drop to the sixth seed or lower. That's what I think they would do.
Yeah, I don't wanna see KD. I don't wanna see fourth quarter players too early.
But let's be honest.
I
We
don't
saw
wanna see it too early.
KD with Harden and Kyrie, or Harden, with Harden or with Kyrie. Look, we know if you get on them, he'll fold.
But that's literally we've only seen him fold in one series. That's the Boston Celtics series. That's only one series. Even in the series the year before that, his toe was on the line, but he hit the shot.
Mm-hmm.
He took them to 7 games without Kyrie, and KD was in.
We ain't gonna talk about when he went to the finals and lost to the Heat.
We ain't gonna talk about with the Heat. We ain't gonna talk like KD even with the he has one series in his playoff life that he hasn't been KD.
But you got to think
he's been injured.
But you got to think that's the most recent one. Yeah. He's getting older and older. So when we talk about all the other stuff, he may not have it like he used to.
That man folded on a layup and practice by himself and practice.
Exactly.
Different things happening
to
that
You got to factor in the age, the miles that those injuries are putting on his body. You know what I'm saying? You got to factor in all of that.
Wake up and you 34 now. Now you're 34.
Yep. So we got to talk about, some greatness that's being recognized. The Hall of Fame, for the NBA or the Basketball Association is led by some of the greats and Dirk Nowitzki, Tony Parker, Pau Gasol, Dwayne Wade, as far as the players, and then you have like some of the coaches. You got like Becky Hammond and Greg Popovich. What do y'all think of that?
That's our Hall of Fame for.
Ain't it crazy?
We got to see all of them win championships.
I'm finna say, ain't it crazy to think like they really like players that were balling with not even when we were kids to see them in the Hall of Fame. Like, Shaq was balling when I was a kid. Flash with them ugly ass shoes that he came out with. Like, I wanted Dwayne Wade to keep going. I feel like he still had it, but them injuries took a toll on him, and happiness. He was in pursuit of happiness. So he should. So congratulations to that Hall of Fame class. And I know that makes you happy seeing your boy Dirk Nowitzki.
You knew that was MVP first in there. You got some Finals MVPs in there. Yeah. You got everybody on there. A champ.
He was a first ballot. As soon as he became eligible, he was going in.
I think looking at that,
number 6 all-time scorer.
I'm going to say he was probably the best player. Looking at that, he probably the best player in that.
He beat the Heat, and not only did he beat the Heat, he dismantled.
Put Dwayne Wade up there.
Well, I say Dwayne got 3, he got 1, but he has all.
Did it by himself, and he got that mug over him.
He does have those.
So he was only superstar on his team,
and let's not forget, Wade beat him for his championship too, didn't he?
Yeah,
he had help.
The Miami Heat beat the Dallas Mavericks.
He beat. Are you talking about which he had Shaq?
He had Shaq.
Yeah,
he had
Shaq. Yeah,
he had a 4-time champion at the. What was he? 4-time, 3-time champion.
3
at that time. With Wade.
Come on now, it's not the same.
But you already know it's been real fun. Deuce, Teddy, and LaQuil, top of the key. Facts,
number 6 all-time
BS. You already
number
know.
6.
That's what we do. Congratulations to that Hall of Fame class.
Congrats to them boys.
Yep.
You talk ready? Hope you patch shit up with God, cause we gon' bless you. Let it burn, you gon' get it back. These just my confessions. Stay in traffic, can't get picked off like no sitting duck. Keep one in the tuck. Wife be mad, but bet she still gon' fuck. Don't speak